Hello, this is Neil from iPaintGirls.com, and I'm going to be dealing with advanced face study, doing advanced face expressions. And so here's some expressions of being scared. The one here of the girl is far more cartoon style type of face. This is something in between the two, exaggerated but still kind of realistic, and this is just more realistic. Now what I'm going to do then is point out some things about the teeth, and then we're going to draw a face expression in real time, and that will be like anger, as not to be repetitive here. First thing to realize then, and with this advanced face expressions, is that teeth from the top, if you're looking down at the skull or down at the head like this, right, and then the nose would be out here, let's say, the teeth wrap into this skull like this, like a horseshoe. And so when you view from the side, you just kind of see that. But when you view from the front, you can kind of see the teeth from the the front teeth, but then let's say the mouth is open, the bottom teeth is open, you can see this horseshoe, and then you'll be able to see the molars, and then you come to the actual teeth here, and then you can see some of the molars, and then you'll see the tongue, and so forth. It's important to know that because something interesting happens at pretty much any three-fourths angle. If you're looking up at the person like this here, this is why this eye back here is hidden by the nose, because we're looking up at the character. That's why we can see part of the bottom of the chin and jaw there. Anyway, so when you're looking up, you see the horseshoe of the top teeth like this here. And it's important that you see that slight horseshoe shape. And depending on how much angled the person is, like how much you're looking up at the person, you'll see that angle's either like this or it'll be like that. If you're looking way up at them, that is almost directly up. That'd be a weird angle. I don't think you'd ever view it. This face expression from this angle, actually in general, is kind of weird looking. I don't recommend drawing it from an up angle because it does look kind of strange. Normally, you're looking kind of dead on at the person, more like this here. But when they turn their face away from us at this three-course angle, so the center line falls right about here on the head, what happens then is all face expressions look different from this angle, like whether it's a smile or whatever, and lips look different even from a relaxed state. And if you remember before, if you've seen my tutorials on this, when I've talked about it, let's say you have this dividing line here and here, and this is the middle of the lip. So pretty much the lip from this side on in a relaxed state looks how it normally would, but from this side here it gets foreshortened. And so I'm just going to kind of give it this kind of lip here. And the same thing happens with the bottom lip, and then it gets like foreshortened like this though, where you can kind of see part of that lip coming out there. So you kind of have that gap like that, and then let's say the lip is kind of open. So it's like that. That's important to remember. And so that same thing, remember when you draw from this three-fourths view here, is you have the teeth starting not outside the mouth, but there's a gap between the outer lip and the teeth. So you have the outer lip shape, then you have your teeth inside of there. That's an important thing to remember. Then you have this line in here, and then you have your bottom teeth, which you look at as a horseshoe. So imagine you have this horseshoe here, and then the line will come and and block out some of those teeth. So but draw that line first, and then you can draw these back molars back here, and then they come around to some of the front teeth, and then you'll be able to actually see some of the front teeth here. And remember, they follow that center line, like so. And then you can have you can also just draw them like that, more cartoonish. And then you'd have the tongue, and then this all would be the darkest shadow. Then you might have some color shadow in there, right? So that's the important part. Let's get started then with drawing a face expression that's angry. I'm going to copy this, and we're going to work from that as the base. I'll go ahead. I'm going to enlarge it. That I can get more details in here. And I'm going to just kind of take the eraser, and I'm going to erase some of this here. Not too much because, oops, that's too much. I want to be able to see a lot of that stuff that's there. And I'm just going to be kind of changing some of it and and altering it to make it angry. But the idea will be the same with the with the advanced. Let's go ahead and give some of that back like so. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do then is alter the eyebrows. Obviously the eyebrows are going to be coming way down here, pinched in like this, and then coming up like that. That way get that anger expression in there. The eyes pretty much from any angle don't change a whole lot, and are fairly easy to do. So you're going to still have the thickness of that eyebrow is going to wrap around over there around the head. And I'm going to kind of bring in that middle. I might even add some wrinkles in there. And then I want to kind of add the eye And I can also change the eye here to where he kind of has this little part coming up like that, and that adds something to the anger. Makes it look a little bit more angry. That little, you probably won't be able to see it on this side, maybe a little bit. And just like with the fear or shock, you can do the pupil small for an angry eye. Kind of add that one wrinkle there. If you want, you can even, define these like lines that, will be formed in the face and off the nose. Add the philtrum there if you want. Right, so from this part here, we're going to really change a lot with the mouth. And well, actually, you can kind of see, it's kind of funny how all I did was change the eyes, and notice what happened is suddenly after just changing the eyes, I'm going to add some shadow in here, the person looks angry. That shocked face that looked shocked before when the eyes were shocked now looks angry. But you can exaggerate the anger even more if you want to, where you can really come out and you can really exaggerate your face expressions and everything. It's up to you how far you want to take it. So let's say you really wanted to take this extreme. You can really come out and just make this huge. You can actually even come bigger than that if you wanted to. You can just get ridiculously big, where some artists will just get ridiculous with this mouth and come way out here, and it's just like that. But that typical triangle shape remains no matter how big you get it, pretty much. That would just be ridiculous, and then you would have these just gigantic teeth down here, and then the jaw would come way down. And what the heck, let's go ahead and let's try that out. Let's see how ridiculous we can get and keep it looking kind of cool. Right, so we need to extend the jaw down here. And you can probably have the jaw even disappear with the lips overlapping it, and maybe just show part of the chin like that, and then part of this mouth would come like that. Okay, now the top lip pretty much disappears on guys and girls when they have any sort of extreme face like that. And I'm going to kind of round out the teeth here. Again, remember that you have this center line here for the center tooth. And if you want to kind of draw the teeth here at first, you can. So now you have drawn each individual tooth, and then I can go back in with my eraser and I can erase out. And I might just keep that line almost intact for that tooth there, and then just kind of outline these teeth like so. And then of course I want to come in with the gum line, and you don't have to draw all the gum, you can just kind of hint at the gums at the corners like that. But I like to obviously when I'm going to shade them in just a little bit, I would color them actually though with color. So that's the top part. It looks looking pretty cool. I want to kind of hint at some of the lip coming down there, and then this bottom lip is going to be huge and exaggerated since we're doing this crazy kind of art here, exaggerated artwork. Even if you're doing a normal comic book, you can actually get away with just doing something like I'm my End of All series with the elves and stuff. I can get crazy and let's say take Cloud at one point, and let's say he gets really angry at one point. I can actually draw him with a crazy extended open mouth like this, and I get away with it most likely because that. Let's see, draw that line here. Notice this whole shape right here remains the same no matter how big you get. You're following the same principle here. And what I was going to say is that I can probably get away with it because as long as it looks like him, that's what matters. And you can draw this big crazy mouth on a character, and the character will still look like the character for an exaggerated scene. Right, and then you can just kind of have some shading over there. And I would probably draw the, see here, you want think about teeth overlapping as well when you get to this point. Let's see, I probably have some of his front teeth here, and as they're coming, I'll be able to see some of those teeth like that. Remember that the front teeth would be right about here, and then I see that side tooth there, and then the other fang. Then his teeth would kind of start coming back over here, and I'd begin to see some gum as we went back over there. Maybe a little bit even up front here. And then I would see just a little bit of this top tooth here, which would be thin, because we haven't got to the molars yet. Now as I get to the molars, I might actually draw a few of those, and then have the gum line come down like that. And you can see he has this just crazy kind of face, and I'll go in and refine the teeth here right now. And there's little things you might see that look weird or you don't like, whatever, so you can go in and change it. For example, here, let's say I think this should all be higher. And so I'm going to just make this really small like that, and I'm going to have the tongue way up here. And then it's going to be kind of coming around like this. Maybe kind of, coming up a little bit. You can kind of see part of the bottom part of that tongue. All that tongue is going to be in darkness too, and you'll have a lot of darkness in here, which you can do in coloring. Then I want to bring the teeth right about here, so I just have that horseshoe like that, and all that will be colored in more darkness. So now with the teeth, I want to start to just kind of do the outline of the teeth, because I don't want to have them. Keep in mind that the fang is here, so this is the fang tooth, and then I have that tooth like that, the two front teeth, which typically angle in more like this and are thin. Then you'll just be this tooth right here, you're just seeing part of it there, and then part of that fang tooth you'll be able to see just a little bit right here. I'm going to kind of just draw the outline like that, and then I'm going to have some overlapping here of the molars. Just going to kind of draw them like this. Doesn't have to be all that detailed, it's cartoonish, so you don't have to get that detailed with it. And if you want to, add some of the molar tops, you can. Little detail goes a long way, though, when it comes to teeth. Kind of erase a lot of that there. And then as I come here, I can really, begin to pull in, then I can kind of show I got some molars over there that are going back. Oops. That's not how I meant to draw that one. Like that, like that. Come down here to show some of how it's going to look. Again, outline of the teeth. Sometimes when I do outline teeth, I do, draw some. I just don't want to draw the teeth. Since the teeth are really close, I want to actually draw some definition of the teeth. Kind of shade the gums a little bit different. Right, so you could draw him like that, and he looks kind of cool. Like so. And you might even want to, shape the bottom mouth a little differently. I might have shaped it a little too weird. I could have brought this snarl up a little bit higher, and so he's more like snarling on that side. Then I could have kind of angled it down more like that, and maybe even brought this shorter and more round out here, and then came back. Anyway, there's all different kinds of shapes you can do, but you get this kind of really crazy, exaggerated look. And I probably wouldn't ever draw a mouth quite that large, personally, because it does look a little bit strange. So what I like to kind of keep, some realism. And so if you just kind of make it all smaller, then you can actually fit in a regular jawline in there. You can actually have that part can be kind of coming, overlapping a little bit, and then just kind of draw some of his jaw and chin as it normally would kind of be. Something like that, and then you'd have his other neck part here and so forth. Right, so there you go. That's more advanced stuff with drawing face expressions, and just keep in mind that when you do draw the face expressions from the side like this, from a kind of not side 3/4 view, that the same kind of rules that applied with the lips, like I said, apply with the whole overall mouth here. And the main thing to keep in mind, to remember, is that this tooth, these teeth here, the front teeth, because you have the central tooth there, it wraps around inside the head, and so there's this gap here. That gap is really important to remember. As long as you remember that gap, so the basic formula to remember is this here. Let's say I have my mouth shape is something like this. I have this bottom lip. Top lip is pretty much not there. That's it. You can try to draw it if it's a girl, but usually when it's this exaggerated, you just don't draw it. You have that front tooth right there. You have this line right here. You have the tongue, and then you have the teeth, that horseshoe that you can draw some of them depends on how big the mouth is. That is the darkest, and then all of this is also shaded in, and that right there is the reduced form of that shape. Reduced form. That's not what I meant to say, but you get the idea anyway. What am I looking for, man? The word just escaped me. So it's the like shorthand, basically. It's kind of like handwriting. It's like the shorthand version of something where you're not trying to get all the details. That's what I just drew there really quickly. Keep that in mind. Remember that basic structure for all these kinds of face expressions, whether it's a scared face, a yelling face, a talking face. If you can see the teeth, remember that gap there. Remember the horseshoe on the bottom. All right, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the face expressions and you'd like to see more face expressions in the future, let me know what you'd like to see. And in general, let me know what you guys like to see, because I really do take your comments seriously, and I try to bring you what you guys want to know. All right, thank you for watching.